Well, guys, we are here. Model Updates, Episode 7. After much trial and error, it's finally here. And in this episode, I got a lot of things to show you. And at long last, my first ever set is complete. I decided to keep this as a surprise, ultimately, for quite a long while, as I really wanted to make the reveal as powerful as possible, but I have been constructing a set, and I only just completed it like yesterday, as well as Duncan's repairs, as I feel as you probably know, the main reason why Modern Updates Episode 7 has been taking so long is because, one, Duncan got some damage in the original filming of Model Updates Episode 7, and it was like damaged midway through, and that, of course, didn't feature the set. It was more just talking about my engines. But I had to hold back on Episode 7 for a while so I could fix Duncan, and now he's fixed. His iMech is back together. You know. His coupling hook is back on. You probably didn't see the damage that was done to him, obviously, but you know, he's all fixed now. As you can see, it's a handle, and yeah. So I think we'll start with the smaller things, and we've got a few things to talk about. So I'll just bring out Duncan here. So last time you saw Duncan, I've done a bit of weathering here and there, and repainted this area of the cab, as well as back here as well. Added some weathering here and there to make the paint match to the rest of the model, as previously the replacement paint I bought when I ran out of the didn't really match. So I had to go back and, you know, do a lot of paint mixing to make the paint match. And yep. As well as that, I've made his pupils a bit bigger. I think that was done unintentionally, actually, because it was like touching up the eyeballs and they just happened to got bigger. And yeah. So not really much to talk about with Duncan. As you can see, it's the handle, the coach, and the trucks. Not really much to talk about with them. And here is Percy and Rheneas nicely chilling over here because they can't fit on the set because, of course, this is for my small-scale narrow gauge engines. Rheneas actually has had a lot of changes and basically finished his refurbishment now, giving him silver buffers. And when I mean by finishes refurbishment, I mean like properly. Because while he technically finished his refurbishment, there's still something they want to add. I suppose that has made his eyes and face smoother. So yeah, I've got my gallant old engine fully fit, repaired and refurbished. Percy hasn't had much done besides a few touch-ups to the number 6, because he had a similar paint touch-up issue, similar matching paint thing that Duncan needed to be done. Well, they have decided at this point to just not install the iMech and stuff because the model itself is quite rushed, and you know, I think it's better if I just wanted to make it accurate Percy to just make a new model. Besides, this isn't really accurate Percy anymore because I made it Railway Series accurate. The model was just so inaccurate that it just couldn't be, you know, a Percy replica because there were so many little inaccuracies. But yeah, that's Percy and Rheneas. Let's see, it's Duncan. Also done a bit of weathering here and now. As you can see there. around as number 6 and everything. And yeah. The set itself is made of cardboard and painted with acrylic paint. Hand brush painted. I decided to make... This is, of course, supposed to be the Glore Railway Sheds, but I decided to take some creative liberties in it and make it a bit more industrial, per se. Hence why the sky of the layout is very dark and gloomy. You can kind of make it out, and as well as the shed to be in a bright dark grey. I decided to make it a bit of mix of modern and industrial and weather dense. This green thing is, of course, 5% moss and overgrown, as well as the floor of the layout. So yeah, quite a mixture of things. The engines are static on here. They can't run on the track, sadly, because the track here is limit scale. Doesn't fit the scale of my engines. I don't even have any Lego track at the moment, but I will be purchasing some Lego track shortly, as well as RC systems, so we'll have some more ambiguous layouts and filming. And there's also these little cutaway areas behind where the wires for the eye mechanisms can cut through, so you can operate their eye mechanisms below the set while filming, so some quite clever features. I think this is more of a modern take on the Glore Railway Sheds, an industrial take and a modern take, ultimately, hence why it's not that accurate. But I basically got what I was going for with that. And if you're wondering how my latest piece of rolling stock is coming along, here it is. Here he is so far. Done some work to the eyes and everything. Added a bit of moss textures here. Yeah. I decided to not have an iMech and just have it as possible because the server I had a broken wire, so I couldn't use it. This section is going to be used for like snow, for this. There's some piping things which is going to pour out snow, because this is, of course, a snow piece of rolling stock to pour out salt and everything onto the rails during winter time. I'll give more detail about that in the future, about who is supposed to be, and it is OC. As well as that, I'll be working on a cardboard. I've recently finished a cardboard Peter Sam. Here he is. This is for a little project I'm working on a rewritten version of Duncan Gets Spooked. Not ready for filming yet, and it won't be done for this Halloween. It'll probably be done by next year, but yeah, stay tuned for that. And speaking of Halloween, I'm currently working on a little short thing for Halloween on this set, where Duncan and Sir Handel, tell each other ghost stories. So we're going to have Duncan, it's going to have Sir Handel, and they're, going to have their some shenanigans and whatnot about ghost stories and stuff. It'll probably take place after the events of Duncan Gets Spooked. And yep. And something else I want to say is that I am going to be working on giving Duncan some more faces. Shocked face, frowning face, angry face, etc. So stay tuned for that. I've basically done everything I can with his bodywork at the moment. And I'm not really going to be touching up this model anymore because, the proportion... This model was done like a year ago, and the proportions... Yeah. And it was my first time, scratch building a locomotive, a replica model. So, yeah, I'm going to be shying away from this Duncan model in the future to work on version 2. I don't know how long it will take to build version 2, but version 2 will be, really accurate. I'll probably use this one more because this is probably going to be main Duncan for, when he's interacting with my other engines who aren't so strictly, proper accurate. But, I am going to be building a version 2 sometime soon, but I'm not going to stop using this model, of course. I'm still going to be using him here and now. Mainly for any interactive other engines, like Rheneas, Percy, Sir Handel, etc. Also added some little note details in the corner here on the wall. It's quite sneaky details. And currently I've hosted a poll for who I should build next. And it was between Pilot Gordon, Rusty and large scale Peter Sam, because I've been taking quite a vibe to Peter Sam's large scale model as of late. You know, of course it would probably cost, but you know. And Gordon and Rusty have been one to plan for a long time. Rusty won that poll, and he'll be the next locomotive I will build. However, the main thing I'm going to be focusing on for the moment is getting track and everything for my engines, you know. Getting track for my engines so I can properly travel, and yeah, as well as RC control so I can professionally film with them. I only got a lot planned for my model engines, but yeah, first set that were built, and yeah, very proud of it's turning out. Stay tuned for Halloween. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.